Good morning, everyone. All right. All right. So everybody knows big news week, Fed announcement, options expiration, whatever economic news is coming out. Probably won't make any difference. Odds are we're going to see some gyrations, of course, on Wednesday, latter part of the week. Support resistance, trading range. So close to the top of the range, traders want to push it to a new all-time high. Ahead of the announcement, we'll see. Kind of unchanged, give or take. Not a big deal here. The advance created a void down below. And I'll just expand that a little bit, get a closer look. You can see there's little sections there, pivots on the 15-minute chart, possible stopping points. It was a kind of go nowhere day on Friday, narrow range day there, but holding up against resistance. I remember mentioning this topping tail in the green room. It didn't follow through, never broke down on Friday. So starting the day with, let's see what's going to happen next, right? We had a red bar ignored for the moment on the weekly time frame. It was a big down red bar at that resistance and a 180 reversal. Normally, I would say, hey, let's look to see if we get an inside bar at the top of the range, whether it could break through. Again, but between the Fed announcement, the whole year has been about they're going to cut, they're going to cut. It's amazing. We're in the last quarter here. It's the end of the quarter, and it was whole anticipation. Six rate cuts at the beginning of the year, and no three, one, maybe none, and then one, and now, is it a quarter point? Is it going to be half a point? Which is good, which is bad? So we're going to have a point of where the anticipation has been going on for many, many months. Right? Now they're pricing in 2.5 cuts within 1 year from now. Yeah, Dan, we know that changes sometimes on a week-to-week basis, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, nothing much happening here this morning. Holding up here at the top of the range. We'll see where things may go or not. That's what we're going to look at next. I take a peek of the futures. We can just see nothing going on here, just chopping back and forth. Kind of a wait and see for what is going to drive the markets a little bit. Yeah. So stall there at resistance and a little breakout failure up here. On Friday, I pointed out, well, giving the disclaimer, these are not trend lines. It's just a display of contraction and volatility. Looking to the left, it is at resistance, which made a higher low. And so as this you can see from here, big up, big down, up, lesser down, lesser up, and so on. There's a turn at this resistance. You see selling's picking up a titch more here as we speak. And drag that up to those pivots to see if it violates those lows or not. And we got a narrow range day on Friday. So relatively easy to violate a prior bar's low at resistance. But prices are kind of just in the middle of no man's land. So it could come down a bit, stuck in the middle of the range. Look where my cursor is. I'm looking at the daily chart and saying, all right, there's a minor support point there on that topping tail bar. And then you look at my cursor on the 65-minute chart and you see, a reference point of another pivot low. And so that is a reasonable place to be looking for. If things should go down this morning, that's a reasonable place to be looking for where buyers would step up. And for whatever reason, maybe get a nice bounce from there in the trading range, but down below here, you see that advance that occurred back there straight up. There's nothing to stop it from going down. But again, coming back into, you know, the contraction of supply and demand coming together, and at some point reaching a pinnacle or apex where maybe it'll go one way or another. And I suspect that's going to happen by the end of this week with the news coming out and quarterly options expiration being over tends to be a turning point. So some things to be considering as the week goes on. Dow coming up to the top of the trading range, a lot of mess there, down, up, kind of like getting seasick. Same thing, down, up, contraction, narrowing ranges. SPX got a little messy stuff going on here. I do this. I explain what I'm doing here. Does it put it on the fillet? Outside left. Right. Okay. Put it on the right side. So why did I mark that off there? As reference points on SPX. And you can see this top strike here is right in that same area. So what does that mean? Well, as you know, every day we look at this and say, what is the probability of being the outside areas where prices might move from? So what we have here today, kind of interesting, was that this is where there's the largest open interest, and it was a big increase in open interest in these options over here. So you can see here, let's just go look at the call side, right? Which is, look, you can see here. And look at the huge increase from the previous session to the next. And so, you can just look at eyeballing the difference in numbers here. That is a huge reference point up there. Call it a wall, call it whatever. It's the top of the trading range, and all of these calls are clustered open interesting calls that are going to expire today up there. And so it suggests to me, besides just the fact looking to the left, those pivot highs up there, the odds of getting through that today are probably, I don't know, slim to none. If it could reach it, odds are it's not going to go through it. And again, anything happens, if it was to go up there, just looking at price action, if it was to go up there and hang out for 20, 30 minutes and not back off, it could cause an explosion to the upside. I don't see any reason for that to happen today as far as news-wise. The news coming out on Wednesday and just thinking about trader psychology as to uncertainty with news and so on and so forth, and the fact that it would be up 4 days in a row into resistance. So as far as getting through that today, the probability is highly unlikely. And if you look at the put side, right, 59, 55, 90, 590, going in the wrong direction, 55.90. Look at the cluster here on the put side and huge increases, right? So there was this big shift as to, hey, if it goes up there, it'll explode. And if it goes down here and below, it's going to crater. And so there is a void down below here. So I think these forces, big open interest clusters of puts and calls, are likely to create significant support areas and resistance areas today. And if we line those areas up, down below, there really isn't much of anything there. I'm just looking over here. And so keep that in mind, as far as a broader market reference point, besides just looking to the left at what's there and there's nothing there. But um, these big open interest areas of puts and calls are highly likely to provide intraday reference points. And so the put strike down below is well below that area. So again, it didn't get near any of the strikes Friday, and it's unlikely to get near anything today. Interest rates continuing to plummet, 13-week, which leads to, something I covered in the weekend letter was like, okay, this started to roll over here in July. And if you look at what happened in other markets, whether it is it makes more sense if you look at, currencies, down here, bottoming out as this drop makes total sense. But looking like from here where it began to drop to where it is down here, the market is thinking half a point. Just, because here's where, it was the uncertainty that went on all year, and it started at the end of the year. And it was like all the anticipation. What are they going to do? They're going to cut. They're going to cut. They're going to cut. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, they're going to cut. It's coming. And it keeps dropping and dropping. So you look at the distance from where it started the drop to where it's at. And that is supportive of the market saying they're going to do half a point. Now we'll see which way things go. What are they going to do on Wednesday? The 10-year is down here and continues to move down. Bitcoin goes running in place, bottom of the trading range. Gold continues to move higher. Right? ETF letter doing fantastic between gold and utilities. Silver made an explosive move off of this mess. Kind of unusual to start, to have such a move, but maybe just a catch up with gold, but such a mess of overlapping bars and stuff here. This was just too much, sitting there doing nothing while gold was advancing. So last week we talked about the fact that oil was down at the bottom of the trading range. We looked for it to start to bounce. That's definitely happening. Energy stocks, most of them, beaten up, but starting to find some buyers, support over there. And, well, mid caps doing some catch up, but just lots of overlapping bars. SMHs held up relatively well. They're down a little bit. I want to say they held up relatively well on Friday. Now they're gapping lower. Financials, sloppy buy setup. We're going into this week with a lot of messy charts, volatility contraction, a lot of sharp moves down and up and down. I've coined it schizophrenic uncertainty. I think it's likely to, I'm thinking like after we get past this quarterly options expiration and the news, that prices should start to calm down and possibly begin to trend. And, by the end of next week, we'll come to some opinion as to whether that trend is going to be up or down. Because right now we've just got this huge overlapping mess that's been going on for a while. KRE, other regional banks. You remember that day? It was I forget which day it was. Maybe it was on this day, on Wednesday, that formed those bottoming tail bars. That a lot of the financials, all of a sudden, it was like a little mini crash. That day, yeah, it was this day, I think. And then they just did an about face, stop an about face. It was like another thing was like, you know, and the world is ending, so to speak, or a little crash, and then reversing right back up again. So a lot of messy charts where we look, no matter where we look, there's very few things that have tight trending type of moves. This was another example that we pointed out last week. Bottom of the trading range. Look for some of these retailing stocks to bounce. I mentioned ANF. I mentioned Ross Stores. They had little bounces, nothing of great significance, but patterns that have moved up a little bit in the face of longer time frames near support areas. So we'll see what this week brings us. Um, yeah, probably some of these currencies, they came up off of the low there, you know, little buy setups there, lower low, lower highs, so no matter what you look at or trade, it's all the same stuff. You know, things will act differently at times based on whatever's influencing them, but the patterns repeat, you know, age of support, look to the left, strong move, look for buy setups, minor support, look for patterns. So that's it from me. All yours, Dan. Let's see what happens today and into this week. Get interesting.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm expecting just chopping around here into the meeting. And that's just because we rallied last week into it. So let's look at my alarms going off here first. KRE, up alarm went off, gapping up here. But it's a sloppy buy setup, but I like the weekly, I like the monthly. So it's a place I think to enter for a longer term trade. For a swing trade, it's sloppy, maybe go up a day or two. Obviously, we'll be affected Wednesday. Algin, igniting bar. We're going to do a put spread. My alarm went off. So that will be good if it's filled. XLU alarm. We're in that in the ETF trader. We just moved the stop to Friday's low. D Delta. Kind of a bull rectangle gapping up. All right, so let me tell subscribers to wait for a pullback. I know, Alex, you're in that already because that's where I got the idea from. ADP. ADP alarm. I don't see any prints, so I don't know why my alarm went off, but wide range closing breakout. Alex here in that also, I know. Nova. I like big old bull rectangle. This is exactly a bull rectangle. Here's your flag pole. And a rectangle is a square consolidation. And, I like the upper 25, 30%. And it's just a consolidation. Look at that, an explosive move. So let the 20 MA catch up. That in the window. Bullish weekly. Monthly, not trading, but, when we talk about multiple time frame analysis, you go up one time frame of the time frame you're trading, and you don't fade the bias. So what's your bias on this weekly? Is it bullish, bearish, or neutral? That's the only word you got to answer. And the answer is bullish. Check. So it supports a bullish setup on the daily. All right, I think that's on my Golf Delta. Yeah, Golf Delta. We're going to do a put spread also. The 300s here. Closing breakout, daily, weekly, monthly. Look at that, all-time highs. Guess all these wars. I wrote in the commentary that presidential debate last week and the media and all. We got $1 trillion debt payments now. Bigger than the budget for the military. And it's like, what? People ain't going to worry about it until the bond market has a tantrum and forces them to worry about it. So if they're not going to worry about it, I'm not either. All right, Apple. Apple, I read, this is obviously this and semi is dragging down the Qs to their relative weakness. They reported that their pre-sales iPhone 16 were not as good as expected. So, and then there were some downgrades here and some semis. We actually have a couple of these in our weekend letter, either put spreads or directionals. So MU, if it can take out Friday's high, it's a bottoming pattern here after making a new low. So that's what we call a bullish new low divergence. We got a W bottom on the weekly, but now it's gapping under Friday's low. So fine, it's going to be a zero trade unless it takes out Friday's high. Oh, really? Was that part of the bad news? All right. All right, so a couple of these that are affected. ARM we had as a 1, 2, 3 on Friday. Gapping down here, so I don't know why. Upstart. Now this was a fabulous buy setup. Came down. We got Greg. I got to schedule an MT live on the topic of the turn. That is such a valuable lesson. So we got a buy setup, and we have a beautiful bottoming tail 180 turn at the 50. So that was a fantastic setup. I don't know why it's gapping down now. Charlie Lima, I think, got a downgrade or something. So this could kind of set up a measured move lower. We could bring it. Well, see that the gap's too big. The measured move. Well, I don't know. There's minor support. I don't know. Target, I think, got an upgrade or something like that. If it could go sideways here, this could be a 30-minute high trade. You got a buy setup on the weekly. It's a deep retracement, but here's a multi-bar turn. I mean, pity the man or woman who bought that opening print, and that was earnings. Look at that. Probably a broker calling them, hey, Mrs. Jones, Target, blowout earnings. How many shares should I put in your account? Oh, as
Did you
many as
lose
you.
Dan's voice with my end?
What?
Couldn't hear you.
You can't hear me? Can you now?
I can hear
Everyone
you
else?
now.
So, that's just a retarded place to buy. I think we were shorting a call spread on it. Intel, I read that they're going to get another $3.5 billion handout from the government, grant of whatever. That's just so ridiculous, this handout of money. But it's another possible new low reversal. 30-minute high. We actually sold puts on it here and we got stopped out. But it's a new setup. You can't let bad memories prevent you from taking a new setup unless it's on your do not trade list, which that's a different subject. AMAT was another potential bottoming pattern. these are lagging the SMH, but they're monster W's, and it's gapping down, being, with the rest of the pack here. Oh, I think these three, I forget what bank gave them a downgrade. LRCX, we actually have in the letter as a directional. It's a 1, 2, 3 reversal on major support, W bottom, and it's gapping under, to Friday's low. So it's still fine. If it's able to negate this whole thing, then it's good to go. Stop. Day's low. Clack. Again, I see one print down here. ENTG, I think, got an upgrade. Now this would be a horrible directional because of all this resistance, but that's a great idea. So 30-minute high put spread, XOP oil, another Climo. I did the trade review on, and I posted it to YouTube on Climos. I reviewed our recent ones, our open positions, the ones on our hit list. So let's keep an eye on some oils. Slob, talking about an oil, got an upgrade, not an upgrade, got positive letter in Barron's. We have Halliburton as a Climo over Friday's high. So perfect. They don't have to be topping tail ignored. GIL, little 1, 2, 3. I forget if I have this official or if it's an idea, but GIL looks good. Sammy boy, maybe that was on your list. LPX, I have as a put spread. Lunar, this is kind of a sloppy consolidation. I did some scanning on lower price stocks. That's where I found this one. Lunar. LPX is a put spread. So you got to see if you're going to get the premium. Let's see which one. Yeah, Greg, my thing's not scrolling. Zoom hasn't been all morning. PX. All right, I'll give this to you all so you can help me track it. Yeah, I just had an alarm on IMO go off. Mo. Yeah. So that was in the weekend letter too, another Climo. I personally like waiting 5 minutes, but it triggered cleanly. Qs remain weak. The other three horsemen are, chopping around slightly positive. Tick 1,000. So that's encouraging for the bulls. All right, LPX. Let's see where the juice bar is. Halliburton. Wow, that took out that tail quick. Vert. All right, so I don't have time to look at all these. The spreads on LPX are ridiculous. 30 by 95. Let's cancel that. That's ridiculous spreads. It's amazing. I would not put it in the letter if they closed ridiculous, because that's how I base the determination. And it's for them to have widened up at the market open. That's ridiculous. Is insulting. So T and PH, G, and got a lot of alarms. All right, G. I forget if this was official or not. G. No, it's not official. So Greg mentioned this one the other day. There's a lot of resistance there, but the pattern with the weekly buy setup suggests that it'll go through it. An XRT up alarm. All right, we can tighten the stop here now. How about under 75 to protect gains, particularly with Fed? Qs are really selling off. Qs just made a new low. So not rushing into anything. Diamonds were the
TS TSN bounce off of the 50 and major support. Maybe get a little pullback on the 5 or something. Could keep going. Maybe a put spread down. Maybe. Came down pretty hard, granted, but bouncing off a technical level.
ESM. No, that ain't it. Which one?
TSN, Tyson Food.
Tyson. Yeah. Just say Tyson. Right. XRT alarm. Yeah, sure. I'll check the juice bar. Well, the fangs, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Tesla are all tanking on the 15, with Netflix being the sole winner of the fangs. Tyson, there's no 61s, and the 60s are only mid a dime. Path. Yeah, there's a void. Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, there's a big old bottoming pattern. Yeah, that could be your entry. I know it's at resistance, but you got your igniting bar and 2 resting days. So I like it. It's not really the same when I tell Sam we don't buy bottom of the range to the top. It's different. You got this bar and you got 2 resting days. So I like it. And breakout weekly after bear sandwich. So yeah, I like it. Put it here, CMG. Let me check puts also. Really? All right, thanks. That's funny. But you know what's also funny, Don? Because I was still on the tail end of my sickness. I originally started with all wrong dates on the advisory letter themselves. I had the wrong date and I caught it before I sent them out. Yeah, it's like, what are you thinking? So yeah, CMG, I like. Um, let's watch a pullback. But let's sell a put spread if there's juice. 50. If you don't mind buying it, then the 56s are fine. That has weird strikes, I guess, because of the 56s are only 40 cents. not very much, but there's we can do, yeah, they're liquid, so we can buy the let's buy the $56 calls. Buy 4 DTE, and I'm going to give them a small discount for one, currently 170. So let's try to get a 15-cent pullback. Which will be right around there. So let's try that. Pizza. See that one I'm not crazy about because that one's bottom of the range to the top. I think I did look at it for a put spread, but there was no juice. But day trade 15-minute chart would be okay with the appropriate stop, obviously. All right, still going through alarms. All right, EMPH, we have a put spread. The up alarm went off. So I'll just reset it. Vert. All right, Vert triggered. That was a clean one. Oh, I said by $31 calls. 32. It's got to go through these one by one. I do every. Wow, did that trigger and then get 28? Yeah, sure did. It triggered by 2 pennies. I don't like that, but nothing. So now that's an example of waiting 5 minutes. But Greg and I talked about it, and you're gonna win some, lose some kind of thing. But as an intraday trader, we could have also seen that, look, that's not 100% retracement. We would have, if you were watching it and cared, I would have said, but to wait for a pullback now. And then the pullback is ugly, so you'd be like, I don't know. Get it? You got it. AMT, yeah, it's a little buy setup. ACM, bullish. Yeah, I'll write them down. All right, IMO triggered. IWM new low now.
It's in the gap fill.
All right, Gulf Delta's not going to get filled, unfortunately. So I gave that as a put spread. Let me go through pendings here. Schwab was a call spread under Friday. WGS. What the heck was I doing with this? Um, Selling $35 puts. Okay, let's see where they're at. For 50 cents. That's Sammy Boy's favorite band called 50 Cents. The spreads are 0 by 75. And I said sell them for 50. So if you get filled, fine. But I can tell. So Don, I can tell that none of our clients are trying. Why? Because there's no offer at 50. That's why. So I'll be the first one. And I'll tell you if I get filled. You know what's crazy? This software. Okay, there. I had at first it said I couldn't send an order because the bid was 0. All right, so I'm out there. AD, these semis aren't going to trigger, so they're fine. Workdays, a call spread under Friday's low. Meta put spread Friday's high. Algen did gap. Shoot, this was a great put spread, but I seriously doubt it got filled. The way that was a gap and go. Burke up alarm. That's one of our Climos. Did anybody try this by chance? Algen 230, 225. 32 cents. And I said 60. So yeah, there's no way that got filled. I'll just leave it. Burke. Nice. So now we can move stop Friday's low. 45.43. That D filled the gap, D delta. So that's a go now. Yeah, the only hesitancy with D is the sector's getting hooked. Boeing at the low. Their strike continues. Boeing. 155, 140. Move along. Oh, I already did 159.02. AAP. 8. There, we met our first target on AAP. Yeah, my Zoom alarm just went off, so it's nice. That's a beautiful buy setup. That's going in our turn MT live.
And look at Amgen for a possible put spread, 327.50 this week.
Pelletier still grinding. Hughes are almost back to the breakdown area. Spies new high. Wow. Microsoft blasted on the 15. Damn. I think I looked over the weekend and it was too spreading. It's 325. It was, yeah, 52.95. So I can't get a good credit, but What about directional? I like the weekly 180.
I looked at 327.50 is below the wide range bar.
Right, but it's spready is the problem. It's 40-cent spread. And so a $5 midpoint right now is 40 cents. I mean, if there wasn't so much, I think it's going to go through this. It does look good. Nice 15, nice weekly. Oh, target bottom right I mentioned. Yeah, I wish it was, no, it's 3 bars to resistance, but I like the weekly. Palantir. 34.88. Oh, that's pretty even. Cool. Palantir. MSI.
Dow's new all-time high.
Who?
The Dow.
Roblox alarm. MSI. Yeah, it looks good. I love this bottoming tail reversal. And a 1, 2, 3. You like it, Greg? You want a half lot?
What is it?
What?
I have to look at it on my chart. Hold on. I can't see US. No.
Intel new high. Let's check puts again. This thing has disappointed me though many times. 1950s. 16 cents naked. It's just go ripping today. Wow. Because that was a nice buy setup too. That big old tail reversal. Wow. It would have exceeded my target. It's plowing through resistance right here. KRE. Yeah, I think it's in the letter already, Alex. I'm like still way behind here. Mm, let's let's what we asking? Alex, X. Yeah, 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 I like it. Tilray dog. I didn't think we'd see his ugly head again for a while. Oh, it's here. That's a first target. Axon. All right. Yeah, Alex, I have it posted in the weekend letter. Axon over 385. I can feel right dog. Big old bottom members head and shoulder here. Red bar ignored. Yeah, we're in it. I'm behind here. But one by one, I will check show. You filled the gap. That's a go. No, we're buying calls. Okay, that's fine. Workday low alarm. Alex, that's yours. Yeah, I was watching it all morning there. Yeah, look, I got target bottom right here. I know I like it. Yeah, I was hoping it'd go sideways, but I said I'd like the weekly, so I know it's up 3 bars at resistance. I would wait till after three. Let's make sure this holds, but yeah, I like it. Doc, yeah, it's just up 4 bars. I think I am up to date. Well, on posts. Now I gotta fix my alarms on everything. KRE, KRE, nice entry in the gap. That's back near the high. I'm just setting up and down alerts now and everything that triggered. Vert acting well.